This lesson focuses on how to use equivalent fractions to add fractions that have unlike denominators. Let's look at a quick example about numbers. If I have one adult and two adults come, then we have a total of 3 adults. Okay? We can add them together because they are all adults. But say that I have one adult and 2 children. I cannot say that I have 3 adults because that's not true. I have one adult and 2 children. However, I can look for a common term and I can say instead that I have 3 people. Math works the same way with our denominators. We want to look and make sure that we are using the same units, the same frame of reference. Okay, so let's keep that in mind as we go forward. We're also going to be at using images to help us arrive there. So if we have a problem such as 1/2 plus 1/4, we cannot say that 1/2 plus 1/4 is 2/6. That is not true. Okay? Because we are needing to find that common denominator. So how can we do that? Well, we can draw the diagrams like we learned in the previous lessons. If I have one piece of paper, I can split that in half and say I have 1/2 here and 1/2 here. And I've represented that by shading half. For the next part, I'm going to do horizontal lines because it is the opposite of the vertical I started with. And I split this image in 2/4 and shaded 1/4 to show that I have 1/4. Now, how can I put these two together? Well, if I have the same piece of paper, I can fold it in different ways. As in illustration, I can fold it in half vertically and then fold it into 4ths horizontally. And when I do that, it might look something like this, where I still have my 4ths horizontally, and I still have halves going vertically. The 1/4 is represented in green, 1/2 is represented in red. Now if I count the sections, I see that I have 8 sections. That's going to be the easiest common denominator to work with. And looking at this, as I count them, I see that inside 1/4 I have 2 of those eighths, and inside 1/2 I have 4/8. So really what I'm saying here is not just 1/4 plus 1/2. What I'm really saying is 4/8, counting down the left, plus 2/8. And if I add 4/8 plus 2/8, I find that I have 6/8. Now, that's not simplified, that is just adding them straight across. What happens if I wanted to simplify it a little bit looking at this image? Well, I know that if I have that piece of paper and split it a little bit more, I can split it into 4ths. Because remember that 2/8 is equal to 1/4. So I have 1/4 there, I have another 4th, a third 4th, and 4/4. And 3 of my 4/4 are shaded, which means that I have 3/4. Okay, let's try another problem. 1/3 plus 1/2. Again, we're going to split it like we previously did. We're going to split this first one into thirds, and we'll shade that first third. And while we're there, let's go ahead and draw those lines in the last one as well. So what I'm saying here, as I'm skipping around, 1/3 plus 1/2 equals, or is the same as whatever. Okay, and then I'm going to do it horizontally for my second rectangle, where I say I have 1/2, and then I'll split the last one the same. And looking at it, I'm going to end up with 6ths. Okay, counting across, I have 1, 2, 3/6 are in a half, and 2/6 are in a third. I'm going to write that below. I have 3/6 here and 2/6 for a total of 5/6. And if I shade them in, I have my third and 3/6 for a total of 5/6. Now try 2/3 plus 1/4 on your own. When I solved it, I did it the same way that I showed you, and I found out that my solution is 11/12.